Welcome in, everybody. It's the Bears Brothers podcast. I'm Eric, and with me, as always, is my older brother, Rick. We are sponsored by no one yet. So, anybody who wants to come in and sponsor us, feel free. We'll be very cheap. Right, Rick?
That's what everyone describes me as.
Perfect, perfect. Well, the Chicago Bears take on the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm still getting used to saying that, by the way, Las Vegas Raiders. They're going in Vegas. And Rick, from what I've been hearing, there's a lot of Bears fans that have made the trip over to Las Vegas. It's a cool place to go. They've got a great new stadium. It's the same people that are designing our stadium in Arlington Heights in a couple of years. Rick, what kind of advantage does that give the Chicago Bears, knowing that all the fans are moving out west to watch this game and just have a really good time?
Well, I'm not sure that it gives them a specific advantage, but it doesn't give them the usual disadvantage that they have. I don't think there'll be as many pre-snap penalties as they usually are in Detroit, let's say. So while I don't think it's going to be a raucous Bears crowd, they're going to notice, oh my God, they're all cheering for the Bears. I think you're going to notice that there doesn't seem to be a lot of excitement for the Raiders. And I think that will help, especially with a young team like the Bears that play so high on momentum and emotion. They ride the emotion and momentum from the last game, and they come into this one. If they're coming into a non-hostile territory, let's say, I think that's the advantage they're going to get.
Yeah, I agree. And the Bears definitely do have a lot of momentum coming in from last week's game, winning against the Dallas Cowboys 31-14. There was a lot of positivity going from that game. The offense looked amazing. Everybody got involved, like we went over last week. And the Raiders are kind of off to a rocky looking start here. They just can't seem to get their offense going. They are ranked actually 30th in rushing yards per game with 72 rushing yards, and they only score 17.6 every single game.
I mean, their offense looks like a prototypical Bears offense the past few years. They make a lot of mistakes. Their quarterback seems to play pretty well, but then they make a ton of mistakes and they can't get the running game going and they turn the ball over a bunch and they have a lot of penalties and they don't have a very good offensive line. Um, it's going to be kind of watching like a mirror image of the Bears on the other side of the field, but hopefully we're moving past that. So we'll see.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Rick, I'm having flashbacks of every single other year that the Bears have been where they're like, yeah, we're moving along. And then there's a holding penalty to bring us back. And then we have no idea how to make up from that mistake. This year seems to be a bit different. It looks like a different culture is kind of turning around here. We'll see if we can go on what's called a winning streak.
Wow. We.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, but here's the thing about the culture turning around. I think that the coaching staff has like a really good hold on this team, right? There's no longer this, well, but as soon as one thing goes wrong, we're gonna just like pack it in and mail it in and we'll just go on to the next. The Bears right now are 1-2, which honestly, this is a huge game for the Chicago Bears because if they go into the bye week after this at 2-2, well, that's kind of what we predicted anyway.
Yeah, I mean, a little differently. I mean, I had them beating the Vikings, but I had them losing to the Cowboys. So I had them at 2-2 at this point, just a little differently. Hopefully,
Right.
they will be 2-2.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they go into the bye week at 1-3, no matter what, the bye week is going to be all about them facing the Commanders in 2 weeks, all about the Hail Mary game, all about that. So if you go in with 2-2, you've got two victories back to back. This is going to be really, really huge for the Bears going into that bye, getting rested up, and knowing that you've got some good film and good momentum to go off. So let's see what happens. It looks like Las Vegas. Obviously, they have a whole heck of a lot of bets, and since we're in Vegas, we'll go over some of those bets. But right now, Rick, let's break this down. Las Vegas has the Raiders over. I'm sorry, Las Vegas odds are the Raiders by 1.5 points, which usually you give the home team at least three if
Ooh.
it's even. So it seems like Las Vegas is thinking that this is going to be a Bears victory. Rick, what are your initial thoughts on that?
Well, remember the Vegas line too is also to get people betting, and more people are going to be betting the Bears than betting Vegas, not necessarily because of their thoughts on it, just because there's so many more Bears fans, and I think that's where that line is going a little bit. So they're trying to entice Bears fans a little bit on that one, I think. Um,
Yeah.
Vegas is usually right. They're, right more than they are wrong. And if they're giving the Bears, or sorry, they're giving the Raiders plus 1.5.
They're giving them their favorite 1.5. Well, 1.5 minus 1.5. So
Yeah,
technically, the Bears are favored.
yeah. So that's basically begging, people to put down for the Bears. So I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, welcome in again to the live on YouTube. If you're in here right now, please hit the like button. We're getting a lot of comments. We'll try to go over those comments in a little bit here. But again, more odds and more betting going on. Rick, you ready to throw zero money with zero consequence? But we'll
Yeah,
have a good time with it. So the over under, I've
zero
seen
money and zero
48.
consequences. How I live my life.
There it is, right? The over under for the Bears Raiders game, yeah, I've seen 48. I've also seen 47 and a half. That means it'll be about 24-24 kind of thing. Rick, I know that yesterday you predicted a 34-21 game, so it
Yeah, I'd go
seems
over.
like you're going to go over.
Yeah, I would go over. Yeah. That sounds. Again, Vegas is. They're really good at this. That's why I have people that make their living off it. You said it was 47-48, and that sounds about right. That's going to be somewhere around there. My heart says it's going to go a little over. That both defenses aren't great, and both offenses aren't great either. But I think there's a lot more. I think both offenses. Sorry, let me start that again. Both offenses can explode, and both defenses can give up a lot. And if that happens, which I think will happen, there will be the over.
Yeah, we'll keep going over some of these odds as we go into the exact schemes of the game. We're going to go over who has the edge with offense and defense. People who are saying hi, liking the live, please hit the like button for us. It really helps us go along. Let's get into the first matchup that I want to talk about, and that is actually the coaching staffs. You've got Ben Johnson, again, rookie head coach, seems to be riding the ship a little bit for the Chicago Bears. And then on the other side, you got the gum chewing, never ending energy, former USC head coach, was Seattle Seahawks head coach, led them to Super Bowl. Now with the Las Vegas Raiders, Pete Carroll. Rick, who do you think has the edge in coaching for this game?
Is it wrong that every once in a while I have to remind myself that Pete Carroll is still alive? Like, like every once in a while, I'm like, wait, he's coaching. I thought he died like 3 years ago. Like, he is old. Like, yeah, you kind of have to give the experience to Pete Carroll, I guess, but I feel like Johnson's got him on this one. I feel like Johnson's got more to work with. Johnson's got more to play with. It almost feels like Pete Carroll's doing this because he doesn't know what else to be doing with his time in retirement.
Which movie is the Adam Sandler movie? I think it's Big Daddy, or it's one of those where he's looking at the guy. He's like, but he's old. Like
he's he's,
he's
he's too old.
look at
Uh,
him. He's old.
I think
I
that's
think
Billy
that's
Madison.
I think that's Big Daddy, but
No,
I
I
could
think
be wrong.
yeah.
Anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll come up with something later on here. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. I like Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson's got good control of the team right now. I think, like he said, he's riding the ship and he's definitely bringing everything up. Pete Carroll, I will always give respect as an NFL coach. I think that his energy is great. I think he does a really good job relating to the players, but it does take a little bit for that to click in. However, I have always kind of disliked Pete Carroll ever since he was a coach for USC. Being a Notre Dame fan, I remember the Reggie Bush push game that was really, really huge. And I also remember being a alumnus of the University of Illinois when they played in the 2008 Rose Bowl. Because Rick, I actually went to that game with a bunch of my friends. We had a blast, but Pete Carroll just ran up the score. Everybody was doing backflips, and this is before you could really do that. So I just really kind of was like, man, Pete Carroll has got no class, but it was a lot of fun for at least their team. Speaking of Illinois and USC, Illinois came back and won 32-31. So Illinois is now 4-1, and they're going to be ranked probably right around the top 20 after getting shellacked by Indiana. Rick, I know you're from WVU. We'll talk about Geno Smith, the alum right there. But how did they do yesterday? Did they play? I don't
Oh,
even know.
badly. They got absolutely had the floor mopped with them by Utah. I don't remember the final score, but it was a lot to very little.
Ooh, not
Yeah,
good. Not
not good.
good at all. But
But
let's go into
Nebraska
the
didn't
Nebraska.
play,
Yeah, how'd they
so
do?
they didn't play. So that was great.
We didn't lose.
No.
Ah, That's what I always like with bye weeks for the Bears too. It's like, well, we're not going to lose. That's for darn sure. So, but WVU, going back to that, Geno Smith, an alum from WVU. Here's a player that started off his career really, really low. Everyone thought he was just a bust, would never be anything. And then he goes and plays for the Seahawks and resurrects his career. He's having a bit of an up and down start to this year. But we'll go on the other side with the Bears defense. They're still, I believe, missing Kyler Gordon. He was questionable. They're still missing Jalen Johnson because he's on IR. Grady Jarrett is out. TJ Edwards doesn't look like he's going to play. So there's a lot of holes right there. And Geno Smith is over under 260 yards passing and over under 2 TDs. Rick, in your mind, between the Raiders offense and the Bears defense, who has the edge in this game and why?
I think it's actually the Bears defense. Now, Geno has thrown for a lot of yards this season, but he's also thrown for the second most interceptions in the league. He gets sacked a lot. Again, he's old. He's too old. I think the Bears defense, I think this is a shot that they have to get home. They haven't really done it much this season. They haven't got a lot of pressure. I think that the coaching staff knows that getting to Geno Smith is the key to this game. I think they're going to sack him a few times. I think they're going to pick him off at least once or twice. He might still throw for that 260 that you're talking about, but I think the Bears are going to play that kind of bend, don't break, maybe give up between 17 and 24 points. And I would call it a shootout, but I think the Bears are going to score a lot more than that.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, it's definitely Big Daddy because the actress in the movie goes, "Well, he has a 5-year plan," and Sandler goes, "What is it? Don't die."
That's right.
And then
That's right.
his 5-year plan was for her to work at Hooters and for him to be the chef.
Yeah, Billy Madison's when they look at the guy that falls off the bench, he goes, "You see his balls? They were so old and wrinkly." That's thinking old balls there.
Okay, so far, Bears fans, we have coaching staff. We're going to give the edge to Pete Carroll because of experience, but with the Raiders offense and Bears defense, we're giving the edge to the Bears defense. Real quick, we'll segue. We have Pixel Pulse in the chat saying, "What are our opinion about the Chiefs? They're also playing a 425 game against the Baltimore Ravens. No idea why you're in this live, but." It's going to be a good game. 1-2 teams looking to bounce back. Real quick, Rick, who do you got with the Ravens and Chiefs? I believe it's going to be in Baltimore. Not
If
sure.
if it's a Baltimore, I give it to Baltimore. If it's a Kansas City, I give it to Kansas City. I think it's going to be a close game either way. This is a must-win for the Chiefs because they're the kind of team that they've been winning Super Bowls and playing so well because they do play well in these tight games against good teams, and they've already lost twice that way. And to lose a third game that way, I think that's the magic might start coming off. You know, that you have to win these kind of games in order to call yourself a quality team. Yeah, every once in a while you're going to lose to the Eagles, you're going to lose to the other Super Bowl contending teams. But if you're going to be a Super Bowl contending team yourself, you got to beat those teams.
Yeah, I would argue there's a lot of like really interesting early season must-win games. I think the
Yeah.
Ravens, for them, it's a must-win game as well. So I'm going to be flipping back between that game and this game, the Raiders versus the Bears, because sorry.
The Ravens are 1-2. Who have they lost to?
The Ravens lost to the Bills, and they
Okay.
just lost their last game against the Detroit Lions because King Henry cannot hold on to the football. He's had 3 fumbles in 3 games, and it's always in their own territory. And this past one, he had it late in the game, and that's when Detroit was able to pull away.
And the Chiefs lost to the Chargers and the Eagles. Although, so
Correct.
they're both teams that are losing to other quality teams, right? So it really is a both win for both of them. Sorry, a must win for both of them.
Absolutely. Yeah. But going back to the Bears, this I think is a must win for the Bears if you're trying to get some momentum on your side with going into the bye week. So now we go into the Bears offense versus the Raiders defense. And
And literally, the
Williams,
question here is who has the edge? That's the question here.
that was brilliant. Great segue right there. Who has the edge? Because we're talking about the tackle for the Chicago Bears versus Max Crosby, one of the top 5 players, I think, in the league, but especially on the defensive side of the ball. There's reports that Darnell Wright is out because of his elbow, and Theo Benedict, the Canadian Eagle from Hard Knocks last year, he gets the nod. And before we go over who has the edge, I'm actually I'm going to shout out Ryan Poles here, but not in a very good way. As a GM, he has not really done a whole lot with like his draft choices and his moves with the offensive line. He's got Ozzie Trapillo, where he drafted
Where
him in the second. Yeah, where is he? Where is he? Right?
is
Karan
Ozzie Trapillo
Amagaji.
in the room with you?
Yeah, he's right here. Everyone say hello to Ozzy Trapillo, right? He also got Karan Amagaji, at least Ozzy Trapillo was a second round player. Your second rounders should be valuable. They should be starting, just like Luther Burden the third. It just doesn't seem like Ryan Poles has a really good pulse on the NFL draft when it comes to offensive linemen, because right now we're seeing if Darnell Wright is actually going to pan out. But it's very, very interesting that they don't really have an answer at the offensive line when they actually draft them out of college.
And isn't that what he played?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He was actually cut from. Brian Poles was cut from the Chicago Bears when I believe Lovie Smith was coach, and I don't think he even was on the practice squad. So that's a little bit too. It's like if you're not very good, are you really able to look really well at the people that you're drafting? That's a good point, Rick.
And so he's really good at picking other practice squad players.
That's true. I would put our practice squad against a bunch of others, but the problem is that the practice squad doesn't really make a difference. But listen, they're going to go against Max Crosby. And when you're playing that guy who could literally take out half of the field and really make a difference, I love Max Crosby too. He's a big trash talker. He's a very physical guy. If he was on the Bears, I would absolutely love that. I know there was talk about possibly Max Crosby being traded this past year. But how do the Bears counteract with Max Crosby over at the end, especially with their offensive line being injured?
Well, they're also going to have some problems at running back because I don't know if Swift is playing today. They still had him listed as questionable. So that means Manungai, not Manungahe, or however I said it in the last video.
Yeah, you said something like Matt McConaughey or something like that. It
Yeah,
was,
I
yeah,
think I just fumbled over it. And I remember thinking, I fumbled over that name. And then by the end of the take, I completely forgotten about it. And then you rightfully made fun of me and pointed it out very, very pointedly. Thank
that's
you for
what
that.
brothers do. That's what
Yeah,
brothers do.
you
You
finally
know?
got me with one. It's only taken you 40 years.
Yes. Wait. Hold on. I want to celebrate that.
Yeah, do
You
it.
hear that?
Do it.
You hear that? Internet. He gave me credit. I finally got him. Younger brother against the older brother. Let's go. Anyway, go ahead.
Are you down there having a little party for yourself?
Yeah.
All right. Do we think Roshan Johnson's going to be seen today? So speaking of Trapillo, but here's another draft pick by the Bears. Roshan Johnson was a fourth round draft pick a few years ago, and he's a healthy scratch. What are we doing?
I don't know, but here's what I'll see. I think we're going to get a heavy dose of Kyle Manungai and also DJ Moore in the backfield. I think you're going to see a lot of that kind of jet sweep with Alameda Zaccheaus. You're going to see some Luther Burden the third. But I also think that right now, based on the players out there, I still think that the offense for the Bears has the edge. And here's why. Ben Johnson will know how to scheme and he'll do the 12 formation, right? He'll do the two tight ends and one running back. Yes, I know that Colston Loveland is also out because he is injured, but their third tight end, Smythe, which is not the way you spell that last name, by the way. It's Smith. We should know, right, Rick? But the other thing is that I actually want to see the offensive running game step up, but the way that you make sure to neutralize somebody like Max Crosby, you go at him. I don't want to see them going the other way. I want to see them go right at Max Crosby, run the ball his direction, make him tired, get those 8, 9, 10 play drives like they did against the Dallas Cowboys last week, and just gas him. So that way he is neutralized. Rick, how do you see the Bears attacking the Raiders defense today?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. That the more that they're on the field, the more tired they are, and the less likely they become one-dimensional. That's something I don't want to see. If we're having Caleb Williams drop back 50 times, we're going to see him on his ass 10 of those times. I mean, he's just going to get clobbered. They didn't make with anything else. If you're on the defensive line and every play you're let loose on the quarterback and you get a couple times in, your confidence builds, your energy level goes up, the adrenaline starts rushing. Instead of if you're getting pounded right in your face a couple of times and you're starting to wonder, wait, can I go get him? Or, well, I got to stay back. Or what are we doing here? And this Manan guy's new. I don't know him. I don't know a lot of film on him. What are we doing with this kid? And then the doubt creeps in, the effort goes down, oh God, this game's slogging along. I'm not doing anything. I got to get something done here. That's the only way I can see them uh, neutralizing him.
Right, right. And we go into the passing game of the Bears offense. We've got Caleb Williams. He has an over under of 0.5 interceptions. I wasn't able to get the over under with touchdowns, but I understand that, right? You got to put it at the lowest of low because Caleb
Yeah.
Williams does not turn the ball over when it comes to interceptions. Throughout his entire career so far as a Chicago Bear, he has only thrown 7 interceptions throughout the entire career. And some people go, well, because he throws the ball like just like at the dirt, which is actually really, really smart. He doesn't force the ball too much. But what do you think, Rick? Do you think that this is a game where Williams throws an interception, or does he stay nice and clean with a big fat zero in that stat line?
Yeah, I don't see him throwing one today. It's just not something that he does. The only one he's thrown so far that I remember is the one where he tried to throw it out of bounds and didn't quite get there. Um, so I don't.
Reports had it actually that Alameda Sakias had run the wrong routes. This was the whole like we're
Oh,
not on the same page kind of thing.
gotcha.
He was supposed to go higher, and they actually showed like what the Detroit Lions did last year. They were going to run the same play, and Alameda ran the wrong routes. So, but we'll see exactly what happened right there. Anyway, continue, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it happening. I haven't looked at the stats. I don't know if the Raiders are big ball hawks. I don't get that feeling from the little I know about them. So there's no one in that defensive backfield that's really terrifying. And there's so many weapons that the Bears have, and the way Ben Johnson is able to scheme people open. As long as we can keep Max Crosby off of him, I think he'll have a field day.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So speaking of our offense and how many weapons we have, Rick, do you know that this is the first time that a Bears wide receiver has been in the lead for receiving touchdowns in the first 3 games? And I'm talking about Rome Odunze. He's having himself a heck of a year. That connection's getting really great, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, how many does he have already? 4, 5, something like that.
He's got
Crazy number.
well, I was about to say 7, but that's how many touchdown passes Caleb Williams has. He has
Yeah.
4.
Jeez. There's some
Yeah.
years when the leader on the Bears has 4 touchdown receiving touchdowns. That's the leader for the season.
For the
Um,
season, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and Roma Dunze actually, there's a bet for any time during the game Roma Dunze gets 1 touchdown. I think that's a good bet. I think that you should definitely bet that Roma Dunze will get a score. He is the guy that Caleb Williams looks to first and looks to often.
yeah, I think that's a bet you could put down every week. I mean, until teams start rotating who they're playing against, but how are you going to take your number one guy off Moore? I know Moore hasn't been a huge part, but I looked at the stats the other day. He's second on the team in receiving touches. It doesn't feel that way, but it's Roma Dunze's, I think, 16 or something crazy. I forget the exact number, but Moore is second on the team for receptions. And it feels like I haven't seen him at all. But you get to take your number one guy off that guy, and you know what I mean. I guess it would lower Rome's numbers, but just increase more. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think this is also going to be a game of both tight ends making a big impact as well. You've got Cole Kmet on the Bears and Bowers on the Raiders. I do want to see what Jaquan Brisker does against the tight ends, and I want to see what Noel Sewell does as well. So it's going to be very interesting. There's going to be a lot to look at, a lot of different kind of. I think that's the reason why we opened up with the coaching. Who has the edge there? Because there's going to be a lot of really good back and forth chess matches, and it is going to be something that's if you are scheming it up in the right time, in the right way, and taking advantage of the other team's injuries as well as their faults, that's the team that's going to come out and win. And that's why I think it's such a close game for Vegas, only 48 points and a 1.5 point spread.
Well, what do you see, Eric? You didn't give us your over under your final score yet.
So I think that the Bears are going to win this game. I think that they're going to go 2-2. They're going to get a road victory. It's going to be a lot of fun. I actually don't see it very close. For some reason, I'm seeing like Bears fans going like, they're chanting away, and you can hear it on the screen. I think it's going to be close at first. But since last week, when we did that amazing thing called halftime adjustments, it's wild to me. So that I mean,
No.
I like what Ben Johnson said at the end of the game too. He was like the 2 minutes before the half and the 2 minutes after the half. Bill Belichick used to say that all the time. Those are the most important 4 minutes. So if you're just a casual person or just watching a game while everybody else is like big fans, if you want to sound smart, you tell everybody that the 2 minutes before the first half and the 2 minutes after the second half starts, those are the most important times. because you'll see the adjustments. You also see a different kind of pacing. So I think it'll be close in the first half. The Bears will pull away in the second half. They will get an interception by Geno Smith. I'm predicting right now a defensive score. I
Oh,
think
you're
the
going that far.
Bears I think the Bears are
I
going
can
to
see
have
it.
a defensive score, and I'm seeing something where they're deep in their own territory. They get an interception or a fumble, like a scoop and score kind of thing. But again, I think that the Bears pull away. I think it's more than 1.5 points. Bears 28 and the Raiders 20. 8 point game, big time in the NFL. That's my prediction.
I'm going to throw out one more prediction too, because there's a side of the game we haven't talked about yet. The Raiders' special teams, their coverage teams are bad. I think we might return one today. I think we might return a punt.
Wow.
I mean, if not to the house, it's going to give us. They're definitely going to give us a real short field, down to the 40, down to the 30. I think that's going to happen.
I
And I think
love
that's going to
that.
be a big game changer, a big momentum turner, probably in the third quarter.
I love that. I love that. Well, I'm looking forward to a Bears win. I'm also looking forward to if that happens and Caleb Williams, number one pick last year, has a good game. I'm looking forward to a lot of people that, for some reason, are hating on Caleb Williams, like overly so. I'm seeing that
Yeah.
all over the internet. I'm seeing a lot of podcasters, a lot of people making videos as Dallas Cowboys fans saying, "Man, we just lost to a guy that paints his nails."
what
And it's
a
like
what a
these
dumb thing.
it really is because it's like I look at the people that say this. I'm like, do you? If you're old enough to remember, if not, then you should look at these old school tapes. We grew up in Chicago. We grew up as Chicago fans. Big time 1990s. Dennis Rodman. That's the only two words that you need to say. Does everybody not remember who Dennis Rodman is and what he did?
I mean,
But
was one of his biggest advertisements was him in a wedding dress? like,
yeah, he got married to himself. Right? He
the
dates
other guy did
Madonna,
crack
and
me
it's
up.
like, if you thought that Caleb Williams, just by painting his nails, who, by the way, does it because his mom owns a salon and he does it for charity, right? If
Yeah.
you think that that is over the top and like way too much, you should go back and watch Dennis Rodman and see exactly what he did. But he was a dominating force, and then nobody cared about it. It's just
Yeah.
very, very. I just don't understand all of the hates towards Caleb Williams. Is it because it's USC and that's such like a dynamic school? Is it's because of the fact that he's like really emotional? I want that guy to like if he loses, I want him to feel really terrible. I want
Yeah.
that guy to really be very, very competitive. So I don't understand the hate, Rick. What do you think?
I mean, I don't mind that people might be critical of his play. They might be thinking, I don't know if he's going to be the superstar or the franchise quarterback the Bears think he's going to be. I don't mind that back and forth. But to say he's not a leader of men because he paints his fingernails is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So I went ahead and painted mine. So say something. Come at me. I got my bear claw ready.
Yes. Shout out to Rachel. Happy birthday, Rachel. Yesterday, did she paint your nails? Or did you
She
do that
did.
yourself? Because that's pretty good.
No, she did it. I did not paint them myself. I would not have been that good on my first try.
Right, yeah. But Rick, you look good in that purple.
Well, don't I feel like the prettiest spell at the ball?
Well, and you trimmed your beard too. You
Oh
look
yeah,
you look
that I did myself. That I know how to do.
Rachel didn't trim your beard for you? All
No,
right. Well, listen, besides all the hate, I do think that Caleb Williams is going to have another really, really good game. I hope that the Bears attack Max Crosby and neutralize them. I really hope that they don't miss Darnell Wrights. Bears are, for according to Rick and I, we are both predicting the Bears to win. We're both predicting either a defensive or special teams score. So I don't know if you can even bet on that in Vegas. I'm sure you could. So if you're out there, take it from us. It's gonna happen.
yeah. Take your hard-earned money and put that down on this. It'll happen for sure. Spoiler alert: we're wrong sometimes.
Definitely. Or if you don't want to take that hard-earned money and bet on the Bears, you can take some of that money and donate to this podcast, the
What a
Bears
smarter
Brothers
idea, Eric.
podcast.
Tell them what
Well,
they could win for only $18.17.
what they could win for $18.17. Well, in honor of Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent, you can make Eric Do a shot of Malorts.
Isn't it fun to watch him suffer? I mean,
Malorts.
more than just being a Bears fan?
Malorts. It's kind of like when you leave the pool water in for too long and you tell your wife, it's okay, I'll get it cleaned, I'll empty it out. And then you have to siphon it in order to get it out. That's what this tastes like.
You nailed it.
Love it. I don't understand how they're not sponsoring us yet. I don't get it.
I mean, really, it's their loss at this point.
Look at this face.
Yeah, you have a face for podcasts, that's for sure.
Nice. Nice. Just, oh man, I couldn't have today. I couldn't have today. You had to just take your time and let me think that I was going to have a great day, and then you just do your older brother thing and stomp on it.
Yeah. We got
All
one more
right.
good one before we go. Remember, we're predicting, I think both of us have predicted the same thing, that this game's going to look close for a long time and then the Bears are going to pull away. So for at least for a little while, it's going to be a, pun intended, nail biter. Oh, do I feel good about that one?
That's Rick. I'm Eric. We're the Bears Brothers Podcast. That's how we're going to end it. We'll see you later on in the week. And until then, Bears fans, bear down and bear claw.
Bear claw.
We'll see you.
I'm too old.
What's his 5-year plan? Don't die?
Look at his ball.